I am Dr. Rupa Iyengar here. Today I am going to talk about diagnosis and management of cancer cervix. Cervical cancer is a type of cancer that occurs in the cells of the cervix, that is the lower part of the uterus that connects to the vagina. When exposed to HPV, human papilloma virus, the body's immune system typically prevents the virus from doing harm. But in small percentage of people, however, the virus survives for years, contributing to the process that causes some cervical cells to become cancer cells. You can reduce your risk of developing cervical cancer by having screening tests. Incidence of cancer cervix is decreasing gradually. In countries with good screening facilities with pap smear, it is reduced by 80%. Cancer cervix is a preventable disease and vaccine for HPV is also available. Though it cannot completely prevent cancer, especially the adenocarcinoma, the squamous cell carcinoma to a great extent it can prevent. It is most common cancer in countries with inadequate screening facilities. Diagnosis of cervical cancer can be done by pap smear, by pelvic examination, that is on speculum examination you may be able to see the cervical growth, or there may be lesion which bleeds on touch. Then some cases we can diagnose cancer cervix by doing colposcopy and finding abnormal patterns and abnormal staining. Also, we can diagnose it by doing biopsy. It can be a cone biopsy or a leaf biopsy. Then lymph node biopsies also can diagnose cervical cancer, and some types of imaging like CT scan, MRI or PET scan is diagnostic for cancer cervix. The pathology of cancer cervix. Grossly, it may be exophytic, where you can see the growth, or it can be an ulcerative, or it can be infiltrative. The infiltrative may be in the endocervix, and cervix may become barrel shape and it can be hard consistency. Histopathologically, cancer cervix may be squamous cell cancer, which can be large cell cancer, either keratinizing large cell cancer or non-keratinizing cancer, large cell squamous cell cancer, or it could be a small cell squamous cell cancer which has got a poorer prognosis. The other histopathological type of cancer is adenocarcinoma. Rarely it can be a neuroendocrine or sarcoma or lymphoma. But these cancers have poorer outcomes or prognosis. While doing diagnosis of cancer cervix, we will need before the treatment some lab tests like complete blood count, that includes hemoglobin, WBC count, differential WBC counts, platelet count. Then we have to do renal function tests also, serum creatinine and blood urea. Liver function tests are also required to know the liver function. Then blood sugar, fasting and postprandial, we have to rule out diabetes. Thyroid function tests. We do take X-ray chest when we have to do some surgical process for the cancer cervix. And ECG is important to rule out any cardiac pathology. Urine microscopy, and if pus cells are there, culture sensitivity is done, and blood grouping is also done, because sometimes we need to give blood transfusion to these patients. How does the cancer spread? The mode of spread is, it could be a direct local extension or it could be lymphatic embolization. These are the primary routes of spread of cervical cancer. Sometimes there may be hematogenous dissemination. Usually it occurs through veins and this is in more advanced type of diseases or some unusual cell type of diseases such as adenosquamous or neuroendocrine tumors. Direct extension. Cervical cancer usually extends by lateral spread to involve the parametria following a path of least resistance. In this scenario, the cardinal ligaments eventually are involved. Another common pattern of spread is distal to involve the vaginal fornices and later, and with large volume tumors, the mid portion and distal third of the vagina. It may spread posteriorly to involve the rectum or the uterosacral ligaments. Rectal spread is usually associated with posterior vaginal involvement. The anterior spread to the bladder is unusual if large volume tumor is absent with parametrial extension. After direct extension, we can see lymphatic spreads. The primary group of lymph nodes which are involved are parametrial lymph nodes, internal iliac lymph nodes, obturator lymph nodes, external iliac lymph nodes, and sacral lymph nodes. The secondary groups consist of common iliac lymph nodes, inguinal lymph nodes, and para-aortic lymph nodes. The other modes of spread apart from direct and lymphatic are hematogenous. This hematogenous, as I already mentioned, is generally through veins and it is generally the late mode of spread, and it may go to the cancer may spread to lungs, liver, or bone. Then another mode is direct implantation. This generally, which is very rare, but it can occur after the operation done for the cancer cervix, and it may involve vault, some operation site which could be vault of vagina or abdominal incision or perineal incision. Let us talk about the cancer cervix staging. The cancer cervix staging by FIGO is the stage 1, the carcinoma is strictly confined to the cervix. Extension to the body of the uterus is to be disregarded. 1A. 1A is the invasive cancer that can be diagnosed only by microscopy with maximum depth of invasion less than 5 millimeters. This 1A is further divided into 1A1 and 1A2. 1A1 is measured stromal invasion less than 3 millimeters in depth, whereas 1A2 is measured stromal invasion is more than 3 mm but less than 5 mm in depth. The next is 1B. 1B is the invasive cancer with measured deepest invasion is more than 5 millimeters. This is greater than 1A because 1A is less than 5 mm. This is more than 5 mm. In 1B, the lesion is limited to the cervix. 1B is again divided into 1B1, 1B2 and 1B3. In 1B1, the invasive cancer is more than 5 millimeters or equal to 5 millimeters depth of stromal invasion and less than 2 centimeters in diameter. Whereas 1B2 is invasive cancer which is more than 2 centimeters but less than 4 centimeter in greatest dimension. The 1B3 is the invasive cancer which is more than 4 centimeter in greatest dimension. So, the stage 1B is divided by the dimension of the spread. The depth is more than 5 mm and in B1 it is less than 2 centimeters spread, whereas in B2 it is more than 2 centimeter but less than 4 centimeter in greatest dimension, and B3 is more than 4 centimeter in dimension. Next stage is the stage 2. The stage 2 is the carcinoma is now beyond uterus or beyond the cervix, but it has not extended into the lower third of vagina, or it has not extended up to the lateral pelvic wall. Now stage 2A is limited to upper 2/3 of the vagina without parametrial involvement. So stage 2A is involvement of vagina, not lower 1/3, whereas stage 2B is parametrial involvement. Now stage 2A again is divided into A1, 2A1 and 2A2. 2A1 is invasive carcinoma involving the upper 2/3 of vagina, but up to 2/3 of vagina, not more than 2/3 of vagina, but less than 4 centimeter in greatest dimension. Whereas stage 2A2 is invasive cancer more than 4 centimeter in greatest dimension and limited to up to 2/3 of vagina. Now stage 2B is parametrial involvement, but it is not up to the lateral pelvic wall. So that is stage 2 of FIGO. Now stage 3. Stage 3, the carcinoma involves the lower third of vagina and or it may extend to the lateral pelvic wall. It may cause hydronephrosis or non-functioning kidney and or involves pelvic and or para-aortic lymph nodes. 3A, the carcinoma involves the lower third of the vagina with no extension to the pelvic wall. 3B is extension to the pelvic wall is present with or without, or it may be a hydronephrosis or non-functioning kidney, unless this non-functioning kidney is due to some other known cause. The 3C stage is involvement of pelvic and or para-aortic lymph nodes. Irrespective of the tumor size and extent, with radio and pathology notations. 3C1, the pelvic lymph nodes metastasis only, and 3C2 is para-aortic lymph nodes are present with metastasis. Now cancer cervix stage 4. The cancer has extended beyond the true pelvis and has involved with the proven biopsy the mucosa of the bladder or the rectum. A bullous edema as such does not permit a case to be allotted to stage 4. 4A is spread of the growth to the adjacent organs, whereas stage 4B is a spread to the distant organs.